Good morning, everybody. It is the 29th of May, 2024, and we are quickly running out of May. We're going to get June pretty soon, a couple of days, and we're going to go on an adventure today. I had an epic fail yesterday trying to do a video on Pahrump Honey Company, and I went all the way out there. Thought it was open because it was listed open at 9 o'clock on Google. That was wrong. The ownership has changed. It's very complicated, and the I did a lot of talking about it in the car on the way and all this video and got out there and epic fail. So today we're going to do a different kind of adventure. First thing is I'm on my way to get my chiropractor visit out of the way. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to head out into the desert. I'm going to go out East Basin Road, out by where the sheriff's department is and the DMV, and I'm going to keep going into the desert and see what we find heading towards Mt Charleston. Not that we're going to drive up that mountain, but we're going to see what we see, and we're going to have a little adventure, and I'm taking you along in the co-pilot seat, and we are going to have fun today. Come along. And I'm going to cut off here, and when I cut on, magically, we're going to be on East Basin Road heading out of town. All right, here we are, and a couple things that I need to talk about here. One is that you notice how terrible that picture is. I was trying to utilize a filter because the sun was directly in front of me, and it worked, except for something was caught in the filter there, and I did not notice it as I was recording. I didn't use all of this footage. I was able to correct this on the trip back. The other thing that I wish I had done a little bit more research on this, because what I discovered is, oh, hang on a second. There is a campground up here, a BLM called campground called Wheeler Pass Campground, and it's 10 miles up here. And I went 9 miles. I was a mile short of it, and it's not really that much to see. I saw Google Maps, and it's just kind of looks like a parking lot. So you didn't miss any scenery, but I kind of wish I'd gone all the way to that campground. But the road all the way up here is just like this. It's super wide. You can see the cameras jumping around a little bit, and you can hear the background noise. It's a little bit of a washboard. It's a little bumpy. I can go, 10 to 12 miles per hour pretty comfortably. And as we go out here, we're going to go in elevation. We're going to go up to about 3,000 feet. That's where, so we're going to go from 2,000 in Pahrump up to 3,000 right near that Wheeler Pass Campground. I did see, I was able to see the road that it was where I was looking was beyond obviously where the Wheeler campground is, and it's got a lot of switchbacks, and I wouldn't take my my truck up there. By the way, my truck is only two-wheel drive. It's kind of a regret. I didn't know any better when I bought it back in 2018. It does have a rear locking differential, which makes a little bit of a difference, but I would not take it on any kind of serious off-roading condition. It just it wouldn't work out well for me. This is all BLM land here, and technically you can camp anywhere. And one of the first things I noticed is although there's lots of flat ground to camp on either side of this road, you can't really tell that well from the video, but there are berms on either side of the road that there's no way you could get a rig over. So you have to go to spots where there are little roads going off. And I saw quite a few of those on the way up where people were camping. You could see the road they used to get in. I wasn't really sure where I was going here. I had seen a YouTube video by Matty Van Hanlen, and he was camping up here, and he did a great video, and he showed like this canyon, and what, as it turns out, he was showing the Wheeler Pass Campground. I don't think he knew what it was called when he saw it, because it just looked like a parking lot. But now that I put two and two together, this is the road he went down, and that's the campground that he saw. But the cool thing that I was looking for, that I was hoping I was on the same road as him, is this kind of canyon. And on my way back down, I'm going to stop the truck and I'm going to get out and walk to the edge of the canyon and kind of show you what that looks like. It's pretty neat. I I love doing these kinds of things because although I'm alone, I don't feel like I'm alone. I feel like you're in the co-pilot seat right next to me and you're going on the adventure with me. We're headed, I'd say northeast now. That peak on the right, the one that's high, if you look straight ahead but then move over about 10, 15 degrees, that peak is Charleston, Mount Charleston. And you can't see it because it's so hazy, but there is still snow on the top of that peak. And as we go up the road, as we cover the 9 miles, we're going to get closer and closer to those mountains and higher in elevation. One of the things that I do is whenever I get off pavement, I turn off traction control. And I know that seems counterintuitive, but that automatic traction control, if you have it on your vehicle, is not for off pavement conditions. It's for slippery conditions on the pavement, moisture, snow, rain. And it can hinder you if you get off road, especially if you get into sandy conditions. And I got that tip from Matt's Off-Road Recovery, one of my favorite YouTube channels. And if you think I'm wrong about that, and you absolutely know more than I do, which will not take much expertise to get there, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about, if I've misunderstood or something, and I'm wrong about turning off the traction control. It didn't prove one way or the other today because I didn't get into any kind of circumstance where I was the least bit worried about getting stuck. And I think these trees that we're seeing more and more of as we get higher, I believe those are Joshua trees. And again, if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments that I'm wrong. But they get more and more plentiful as we go up. And it's kind of hard to tell really that we're going up in elevation because it looks so flat. But as I look in the rearview mirror, I can see Pahrump Valley getting lower and lower and lower, and it's obvious that we're gaining pretty significant elevation. There's a couple of places where I get out, and here's a truck coming the other way, and like a good citizen, I think he slows down here when we pass each other, and so do I. We go slow by each other. He was probably camping up there. So for safety, when I'm out like this, and I may at least once, I'm going to stop and by on the road, and I'm going to get out with my camera and shoot some footage. Um, Especially if you're by yourself in the middle of nowhere and you have maybe a really expensive camera in your hand, and you see someone in the distance start to drive up. It's a really good idea to get to your rig and get in it and while someone's going by, because if someone stops and you get a bad vibe about it, you can just take off. But if you're outside your rig and someone stops and they get out of their rig and they get between you and your rig, and there's weirdness, that could be a problem. Well, this is enough of the terrible footage here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start showing you the footage I shot. I did get some more going up footage that I got off my iPhone because this camera actually overheated because it was in direct sunlight for so long. So we'll go to the iPhone up footage right now. So I'm not connecting a microphone to this, so my sound may be not as great, but I didn't plan on having to switch over to my phone to record. I got my little pot. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn off the recorder button. The Pocket 3, I'm trying to cool it down so I can use that again, especially for the trip back on up here. We just passed the Wheeler-Wallace Connector Road, and that, as I look at that, there's someone camped up here. We got a nice looking travel trailer. That looked maybe a little too rough a road, a little too much steep inclines I see off in the distance for me to take my two-wheel drive truck up, so we won't be going up there. But this is looking pretty interesting. It's, you know, one of the things you want to do is you get close to mountains. You see there's a rise right here in front of us, and it'll give me a vantage point to see what the road looks like going down the other side here, you know, to give me an idea of how safe it would be for me to continue. You know, if you're pulling a trailer, you're on a road like this, and you say, oh, I need to turn around. You can be easily fooled that it looks like plenty of room to do a U-turn with a trailer, and you need usually a lot more room than you imagine that you need. And you can, if you try doing it and cutting it too hard, you can jackknife your rig, and it can be difficult to get out of. So you really want to be careful with that. Now, it's noticeably getting a little rougher, but here is the canyon that I was talking about to the right here. And I'm going to find a vantage point so I can show you, kind of walk out there a little bit and show you what this little mini Grand Canyon looks like. So this is where Maddie went for sure. Oh, it's gorgeous, gorgeous. This would be a good place right now to get out, but we'll see if there's a better place up there. If there isn't, I'll be turning around and coming back this way, and we can get out here. And I'm hoping my Osmo is cooled down. I've got it in my hand right now. And let me tell you something. It's still hot. It's still warm. Still warm. Got it here at the bottom of the seat here, out of the sun. And kind of looking around here, and I think what we passed is going to be probably the best vantage point to really show you what this looks like here. But I don't know, I'm going to keep going a little further. I got time and gas, so we're going to go a little further. Yeah, an unfortunate thing that happened the other day is that you guys have seen the footage of my flying camera that follows me when I walk. It bumps into stuff all the time, and it you know, it's never broken until yesterday. It just bumped into the side of my trailer, and it broke one of the propellers, so it won't work. And I have to mail it back to the manufacturer to have it repaired. It's under warranty, but I'm going to be without my little flying camera for, I would guess, probably a month or more. Okay, so I have been driving I left the chiropractor's office at 8:30 and it's 9:18. So I've been driving about 40 minutes, but I mean, this is pretty incredible for only 40-minute drive in this. It's wilderness. It's beautiful wilderness. And like I said, this whole way, you could drive a Prius here. You could drive anything out here. If you're careful and you go slow, it's a little bumpy, but it's a nice wide road. Not as wide as it was. It's getting more and more narrow up here. And I see the road off in the distance there. You probably won't be able to see it much on the screen, but I can see it starts to do switchbacks as it goes up through a pass. And I think you would be well advised to have a properly equipped four-wheel drive vehicle to go up through the pass there, but I'm sure it's fascinating. And I still have a couple of bars of signal up here. I'm looking off in the distance there. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see what I'm seeing here. Yeah, you can see that truck that passed. You can see them going through the pass up there. You can see all the dust they're kicking up doing that. They're going through, I believe, Wheeler Pass. So right now, I'm going to turn around. Carefully turn around. Very carefully turn around. And keeping in mind that the edges of this road are very soft sand. Even though it looks like I could do a U-turn without moving, we're going to try to stay on the crown of the road here and avoid the soft shoulders there. They're not really shoulders, but you can tell the color is different. It means it's softer, and that's a place you can easily get stuck. Now, as we come around here, we're going to see a little bit better image quality because the sun is behind us. I am now heading southwest at northeast, and I'll do a little zoom here so you can see the Pahrump Valley. All right, there I've zoomed in, and you can see the Pahrump Valley in front of us there. Hang on. So we're just going to walk to the edge here, carefully, keeping an eye out for rattlesnakes. So let's not relax our vigilance, Rob, for rattlesnakes, because it looks like rattlesnake country. There we go. Take a look at that. Just beautiful. And of course, Pahrump is way down there in the valley. And here we are, the truck. And here I am. Okay, we have arrived back on pavement, in town officially at Higley and Basin Avenue. What that means is from the time that I walked out of my chiropractor's office at the other end of Pahrump, by the way, went all the way up there, did all this filming, and came back, it was 95 minutes. So it's pretty amazing that I was able to do all that in 95 minutes, and that is a surprising, almost shocking part of what's available to us in the beautiful town of Pahrump, Nevada. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. And we're coming up here. You can tell we're in civilization because there's a shopping cart right on the road here. Actually, the first structure is right here. Looks like a U-Haul place, maybe. And a storage facility. What a great adventure today. I think we can turn off the... And there on the right is the Department of Motor Vehicles. And right in front of us is going to be the big intersection of Basin and 160. County building and sheriff's office is on the right here. So if you want to mark this big intersection as officially being back in the heart of Pahrump, we're gonna, as we get up to the intersection, I will call the total time from leaving the chiropractor to getting back here to the heart of Pahrump. It's going to either be 98 or 99 minutes, depending on if the clock ticks forward as I get to the intersection, and it did. So it's 99 minutes to beautiful downtown Pahrump. Round trip to that beautiful wilderness area with that, I'd like to call it a mini Grand Canyon. And we're back to the familiar territory of 160 with Albertsons and Walmart and Sonic and Panda Express and the UPS store all on the right here. Followed by O'Reilly's Auto Parts and Starbucks. And we have, there's a Wells Fargo bank. One of my favorite places and a newest addition to the restaurants in Pahrump is Chipotle. Chipotle is right next to the other side of Wells Fargo there. And then there is the China Walk, which is a beautiful Chinese buffet I've enjoyed more than once. We have a police officer going past us, code, and Jack in the Box, McDonald's. I'm glad he wasn't trying to pull me over. Pahrump Nugget and the Goldtown Casino. This is where I turn in to go home. always amazes me these days with how soundproof cars are, where I've got the windows rolled up and the air conditioning is kind of humming. And it wasn't until he got right behind me that I heard the siren. And when I was a paramedic, I used to wonder about that because people would act as if they didn't hear it. And often the reality is they didn't hear it until we got right up behind them. But when you're in a vehicle with a siren going, you're thinking everybody can hear this, because you're right on it. And here we are, home again, jiggity jig, preferred RV resort. Home again. And I'm almost out of gas. You know what, guys? 2 weeks, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to have to fill up on gas. Oh, you know what I need to do? I forgot. I need to go by the office and I need to get my packages. Nothing very exciting, pretty routine crap, but I need to go do that now. Need to go back up there and get my packages. Oh, yeah. Here's an older fifth wheel for sale. They want $2,500 for it, or best offer. So I'm guessing you could probably get that fifth wheel for less than $2,000. It's pretty old. I don't know what year, but definitely way older than 20 years, I would say. That's not necessarily a bad thing. A 20-year-old fifth wheel can be in very good shape. You never know. But I certainly would. You know, it's funny, I said I'd get it inspected, but, you know, it could cost you $1,000 to get a good inspection. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to spend $1,000 to have a $22,000 RV inspected. Maybe if you want to buy it, you should expect to spend a lot of money repairing stuff and replacing stuff. Right, I will be right back, guys. I got 3 packages. And you'd think I'd be excited. I'm not, because it's all pretty mundane stuff. Got some treats for Dottie, some stuff that I found that's all natural and is only 3 calories per treat, so she can have treats but not create the weight problem. and some coffee, which I wanted to stock up on for when I'm going to be in Mexico, and the coffee I like probably won't be available readily. And the third thing, what was the third? Oh, the third thing is a shock treatment for my freshwater tank. I know that you can sanitize your freshwater tank with a little bit of bleach, but I think the shock treatment is better. And you can, I'll be using tank all summer instead of hooking up to city water. And let me tell you why I do that. Because all I have when I'm in New Mexico state parks is water and electric. I don't have sewer. I have a tote that I can empty my sewer into if necessary. That's 36 gallons. I have 32 gallons of fresh water in the tanks. Doing the math, if I arrive with just a little bit in my black and gray water, which is ideal, if I drain my tank, my freshwater tank, that means between gray and black, I'll have 32 gallons plus whatever was in there, so less than 36, right? I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that to remind myself to conserve water, I go out of the tank instead of just hooking up to the water and using city water, because it's too easy to go a little crazy. Take care. Thanks for watching. And I'm almost out of battery. Wow. But it didn't overheat again.